Hello and welcome you all to webinar. This particular webinar is on Huawei. Welcome to Huawei webinar. I am Deepthi and I'm extremely delighted to be in the MC shoes for this particular webinar. Welcome once again to all of you. This Huawei webinar is innovating the future of cloud campus. Huawei is a global ICT solutions provider with products deployed in more than 170 countries. That is 1/3 of the world's population is using it. Its presence in India has been for more than 18 years now. Wow. Currently, 197 of Fortune Globe 500, including 45 of the top 100, have used Huawei as their preferred digital transformation partner. It has 83 ranking in Fortune Global 500, 180,000 employees in R&D department. That is nearly 80,000 engineers in the R&D department. 36 joint innovation centers, 15 R&D centers. Huawei is definitely the preferred ICT partner. Congratulations to Huawei and its team. Now, Cloud Campus Solution Huawei has been launched for the Indian market today. Well, a little round of applause for this. 5 contest questions will be asked to all of you pertaining to the webinar. So please be hooked onto it right from the word go. You will be winning AI smartphone V10 and Honor Bands 3 as prizes. So please show your best wit, your best intelligence possible and win these goodies as soon as you can. Now let's introduce the webinar speaker, Mr. Renzel D'Souza. Welcome,
Hello,
sir.
Deepthi. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. I'm glad to have you here with us today as the speaker.
My pleasure.
Well, let me introduce and give a small introduction to our speaker. He's a strong pillar of the India Enterprise IP Solutions team. He's responsible for IP solutions and product management. With 18 years plus experience, he's worked with the most of the leading technology companies in India as well as Middle East. Welcome once again, sir.
Thank you.
And just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. We'll be having questions. If you have any questions, you can type them on the webinar page itself for us to answer them once we are through with the webinar presentation.
Okay.
And it will be followed by a Q&A session, so you will have ample time for your queries to be answered by Renzel. And without any further ado, let's welcome Renzel once again. And over to you, and the space is all yours.
Thanks a lot, Deepthi. So before we start, I'll want to just run a short AV on the Cloud Campus solution. So this will really get you excited, and then we really jump into the main part of the agenda for today. Okay. So while we had a good view of what is the Huawei Cloud Campus solution, let me now really jump into what is really that Huawei is really offering to the table today. So I believe Dipti has already done a wonderful introduction of myself. So having cut that short, I'll really jump to the next slide. Okay. So the Huawei Cloud Campus solution is really an advanced solution that has grown out of the solutions that we actually launched in 2013, which was the Huawei Agile Campus solution. So way back in 2013, Huawei was the first to introduce the SDN concept to the campus. So we were the ones who actually said, when you configure a network, like the traditional old school of thought was you went around with a bag, a laptop with a console cable, and went and connected the console cable to every networking device and configured it manually. So what Huawei did was, okay, now the news or the latest way of how do you configure a network is not with a manual configuration, but you bring in the smarter piece, or you bring in a controller that can actually manage and configure all the networking devices on your network on the fly without actually having any manual intervention. So you actually eliminate the human errors that are there, that's one. Two, you can have a very fast provisioning time. Earlier, the services to roll out took days or a month to roll out. Now with this new architecture, we have services getting rolled out in couple of hours, if not minutes. So what have we done is this same Agile Campus solution where the controller was on premise, on the network. We have now taken that to the next stage, where we are actually bringing in the controller, or rather putting it onto the cloud. And from the cloud there, we then manage not just a single network, we manage networks, like thousands of devices in the network. We manage multiple networks from multiple customers. So that's the key what we are doing. And the basic thing is we are now reducing the cost of the operational cost by almost 80% compared to the legacy or the traditional way of how we were doing it earlier. So basically you would ask me then, who are the target audiences for this kind of a solution? So one is, yes, we have designed this solution for the cloud campus for the SMBs to start with. That's where, in fact, with the preceding slides you would see is we have got almost 8 verticals where we have first in the phase 1 positioned this solution. Next is the medium and the large enterprises, and then of course the last one is the carriers. So when I say the carriers, is actually nothing but a managed service offering. So today a carrier would actually be rolling out network as a service, or you can say software as a service, where the customer does not need to really bother about buying a network or buying some network or investing his money in the network infrastructure, because that's not his core business. He needs to really, the new school of thought today, what we are seeing even globally, is where customers or enterprises want to invest their focus on their core business and just let the network piece be handled by some expert like a managed service provider. So that's where this solution is actually being designed to. So basically, as I said earlier, the cloud campus solution has got benefits for both the enterprise as well as the carriers. So some of the key advantages for the enterprises are fast deployment, as I said, bringing it down from months to days. Then a simplified administration, okay, where we actually bringing down 80% of the the cost, the TCO cost, and of course bringing much more richer applications. Now that's one of the key strengths where a cloud solution really plays a role, where now today you are not limited to some kind of a solution that an OEM would offer you, but rather you can open up your network to integrate with multiple third-party providers to offer you that solution. I'll give you an example. For example, say today you have invested in a network operating system, and tomorrow you actually want to you use the cloud campus solution which has got its own NMS. So one option is you could use a cloud NMS solution, but a better solution is, since you're already using an NMS, is you could integrate your NMS with the cloud managed solution. So you can actually leverage your investment in what you already have done with this kind of cloud campus solution that we have. Okay. So yeah, so here it is. So these are basically the in the phase 1 of the cloud campus, where we have really positioned our solution to meet these certain challenges, and we are of these particular 8 vertical industries, basically the supermarket chain, the retails, the primary education, both primary as well as the secondary education. And we also have got, as I said earlier, the agile campus, which was designed basically for the bigger enterprises, where we are doing it for the governments and some of the large commercials and ISP customers. So if you see now, what are the typical challenges that basically these 8 industries face, and how is the cloud campus solution addressing these requirements? So basically, if you see for just I'll give you an example. We'll just go to the primary education, where they really have a challenge on how do they manage a network, because there's no skilled staff. Okay, that's one key challenge. And the second one is how do you ensure security on our internet, because today with all the students accessing the content online, how do you enforce the security policies? So the cloud managed solution from Huawei actually gives you the tools that you can actually address all such kinds of concerns. Okay, so just give me a second. Right. So if you see over here, so today in the phase 1, what we have actually targeted is now for the cloud campuses, the primary education, that includes primary as well as secondary education, and also the supermarket chains, which includes some of the large hotels in the globe today. We'll be showing you some of the key products and key solutions that we have deployed in such kind of vertical industries. And having said that, we have got also a lot of references for the agile campus in some of the large enterprises, which we will also share in the preceding slides. Okay, so basically, what is the cloud campus solution? It is a solution for the SMB customer, the medium-sized branch, and also the IoT campus. That's another interesting piece that we really complement with our cloud campus solution. Okay, and so now you would be asking me, what are the different products that actually come in? So if you see over here, we have right from the switching products, the switches with multi-gigabit features having throughputs of 2.55 and 10 gig, PoE capabilities, industrial grade specification in terms of rugged temperatures, operating temperatures. Then we also have not just the fixed switches, but we also have our chassis products, which are part of the cloud offering. We will soon be launching the security products, which is our you can call it the security gateways, which actually provide the URL filtering, the IDS, IPS capabilities as part of a cloud offering very soon. The first phase of our cloud offering solution is more targeted towards the wireless and the switching piece, whereas the security piece is something that we'll probably be getting it by mid of this year, and of course the routing part of it also. Okay. All right. So it's basically a complete life cycle management that a cloud campus solution brings about, right from the planning stage to the deployment, and then the optimization of the applications, and then of course the daily maintenance, that part of it, which includes the troubleshooting and the inspection. Okay, so having said that, let me just show you what are the advantages that enterprise would really get by deploying a solution like this. So if you see, just take an example for say a normal commercial enterprise which has got somewhere around 100 campuses across the country. say with around almost say like 200 users per campus. So what would be the difference in terms of configuration, in terms of maintenance, in terms of the TCO, if you would compare it with a legacy kind of architecture that you would build compared to a cloud campus solution that we have? So some statistics over here which we have seen is that compared to a legacy solution which would take around like 39 persons per day to get the network configured, with a cloud campus solution you can actually get that down to almost 10 days. Okay, so the planning phase of it I'm saying. Second, you talk about the deployment phase, where traditionally it would take around 2 months or 60 days. Now it's done in actually 15 days, so it's another 20% reduction in that piece of it. Coming to the optimization part, where for the planning and I would say for the designing part of it, where you would take something like 5 man days, now there is actually nothing over there, because the system is so intelligent that it can automatically configure and optimize the stuff in no time. And last, of course, is the administration part, which will take the biggest, I would say, the differentiation comes in the administration or the O&M piece of it, which was earlier 112 days. Now it's come down to just 11 days a year. So a good 46% I would say betterment than the traditional architecture. So these are some of the key things that are driving today enterprises globally, and now we are seeing that trend even in India to go on to a cloud campus kind of a solution. So having said that, one thing what I would like to note over here is, so today most or rather all of the Huawei products and solutions that we are launching, be it the routing, the wireless, the switching, and also the security products, today come with something called as a dual mode. Meaning today you could buy the product as a standalone mode on a campus. Tomorrow, once you have a cloud operator or you have someone who can offer these solutions, the same product is now cloud optimized also, or cloud ready. So you have you as an investment, you just buy a single product today which can serve both the purposes, a legacy network architecture or a cloud based mode. Now that is a key difference what we see in some of our competition today also. Like if they are offering you a cloud based solution, there is a separate product, a separate model number, whereas if they are offering you a standalone product, there's a different model. That's not what Huawei is doing. In fact, we have taken that, and that's a key advantage that we bring to the table. Okay, so now let's look at some of the examples that I was talking to you in those 8 verticals that we have. So this is about the supermarket or the retail chain where a lot of wireless is being used over here. So what is the cloud campus offering for such kinds of customers who are really wanting to have a solution for, I would say, where they have a limited resources for managing the network. They have a requirement for, again, limited manpower to troubleshoot the network, and of course there is a lot of ongoing daily tasks that they need to do, especially in the terms of the shelf labels, that is replacements. So the solution over here that Huawei has bought is a product which is our IoT enabled Wi-Fi gateway, which we call it, the product model number is the 4050. And the beauty of this product is today it's not just a wireless access point, it's a wireless access point having 3 kinds of IoT, I would call it gateways. For example, one supporting RFID, one supporting Bluetooth, another one supporting Zigbee. So you really have a wireless and an IoT gateway into one product, really bringing you that tight integration that you would want to use in an environment like a retail. This again, some of the beauty is it actually brings down the cost of your operational cost by 80%, and how it does so, if you can just see the next slide, is if you really compare it again now from a standpoint of the operating temperatures. Again, if you see the access point is like 50 degrees centigrade, having a inbuilt Bluetooth, the throughput is something like almost 400 Mbps on the 2.5 gig radio and 867 on the 5 gigahertz radio. Again, as I said, another beauty of this product is it has got an inbuilt surge protection, which is not as a common default on most other OEMs. So basically, it's really a rugged product. You can actually use it in environments which are prone to lightning and storms, and you can be assured that this product will not, have any kind of issues due to those kind of environments. Okay. So which are some of these are some of our customers globally in the supermarkets chain across the globe who are actually using the Huawei solutions already been deployed. As we said earlier, the Cloud Campus solution has actually been deployed globally something like 2 years back. The India launch is happening today, okay, but and that's where we are assured, or rather based on our experience, where we are seeing the Cloud Campus actually bringing a lot of value is first for some of these 8 verticals, what we are talking about, and this slide is really talking about the shopping malls and the supermarkets where we have got our references. Okay, so the next one is about again the hotel chain over here. So over here again a key requirement is how do I have or how do I minimize the number of APs, say in a hotel. So today if you see, the traditional way is most of the hotels you would have a AP positioned in the corridors and then expect that the AP signals go through the rooms and get inside, and you have the wireless coverage over there. So the Huawei has come out with a very innovative solution, which we call it the agile distributed solution, which I'll be talking to you about. So the beauty of this solution, if you see in the slide over here, is you don't have multiple APs. You just have a single central AP, which is really, I would say, a powerful AP in terms of, for example, say this throughput is something like a 10 Gbps throughput, and then this AP has got, I would say, physical ports which are actually extenders for a remote unit, which are nothing but the antennas. So what we do over here is we just in every room we just send a remote antenna in every room and connect that room by a standard Cat5 or a Cat6 cable, and that antenna receives the PoE also from this same central AP. So by doing this, what we are doing is we are actually reducing the number of managed network elements. That's number one. We are bringing down the cost of like a AP. We are bringing down that cost. And two is, even on the controller side, we are not having to use multiple licenses for each and every access point. So but the main user advantage is that now you have a really good experience because you really have the complete Wi-Fi coverage in every room rather than having it in the corridor, as I said sometime earlier. Okay, so this is a really a unique solution from Huawei that we have bought in. It's currently positioned predominantly for the hotels, and also you can see some of the dormitories in the universities or in the some kind of high schools. That's where the key positioning of this solution is. Okay, we have got a lot of third-party reports also which substantiate the coverage, which substantiate the throughput of this solution compared vis-a-vis to the standalone APs that are there. So if you see over here, these are Tolly reports which I've compared with some of our competitors, and you can really see the difference that we really bring to the table. Okay. All right. So these are some of the global references that we have for the hotels where we have deployed our Wi-Fi distributed agile solution. Okay. Again, mind you, this is all part of the Cloud Campus offering only. So so whatever I'm talking to you now is all as part of the Cloud Campus solution that is being offered. Okay. So let's take example of education, the primary education, where how the Cloud Campus solution will actually address those markets. Again, over here, if you see over here, some of the requirements or challenges that we are talking about is on the operational side of it. Again, where you have a limited staff and you have again a lot of APs to be deployed. So how do you manage that from a cloud perspective? So the box that Huawei has to meeting this cloud campus solution is nothing, I would say the first in the industry today actually that supports 3 radios, that is 2.5 gig radio and 2 5 gigahertz radios. Again, the first ones to have that deployed. Again, by doing this, we are actually assuring that per user you at least get 4 Mbps of bandwidth per user, which is sufficient enough to run some of his data as well as voice and video applications. We are talking about bringing down the interferences also by almost 80% because of the co-channel technologies that we have, interference suppression technologies that we use, and of course a 30% higher performance. So in terms of the number of users that can actually connect to this particular access point is, again, I would say one of the highest in the industries today, like 240 users could connect, be it a video streaming application or simple just internet browsing. On a single AP, you could have around 200 plus users connected, each with an assured bandwidth of 4 Mbps. Okay, that's again because of this triple radio solution that we have got. All right, so this is just a comparison of that particular product with vendors. In fact, unfortunately, there is no vendor today that is actually having a 3 radio solution. And again, if you really see the highlights of this box, it supports up to 3 Gbps of throughput. Okay, it's got a built-in antennas, and yes, it has also got a USB for even for you can do a remote management and monitoring of the device. Okay, so these are some of our global customers using the Cloud Campus solution for the education. Okay, we have got references in Turkey and references in China, in Paraguay. In fact, we have got some of, I would say, a couple of universities even in India who are deploying our, I would say, the Agile Campus solution. Like we have the Calicut University, you have got Rahejas, you have got NISMs, which are some of our key customers in India today also, who are using our Agile Campus Wi-Fi solutions. Okay, so let's have some more inputs now. Let's talk about some specific requirements for a high density scenario for a wireless access, where you would have, say, like a large conference room where you would have like 5,000 users. So how do you deploy a solution in that scenario? Do you have multiple APs, or you go with some really strong, powerful radios or antennas and provide the access? So again, Huawei has got unique solution for such specific requirements also. Okay, be it a conference room, as I said, or be it even something like a stadium, like an outdoor requirement for a stadium. So you have got high density requirements for an indoor environment, or you have high density user access for an outdoor environment. So for both these kinds of scenarios, you have got specific products, specific solutions from Huawei that can actually meet most of these requirements that are there. Okay, so let's talk about one particular of this model is the Huawei AP7052DE, which is again a very unique product from Huawei as part of our Agile Cloud Campus solution that has actually got something, I would say, where it's so intelligent. We call it the smart antennas, where as a user roams between a area, the antenna or the coverage actually follows that user. Okay, so it's like 100% guaranteed coverage for a user. That's number one. That's the key strengths. In terms of the gain performance, there is almost a 3 to 5 dBi much better performance increase over there, and of course a better coverage of almost 20%. So this is again another unique solution that Huawei has launched as part of the cloud campus, targeted for the high density indoor use for things like, as I said, some conference halls or some auditoriums where you have a lot of users. Okay, and to complement this solution, there is also a switch, again one of its first of its kind, where it supports multi-gigabit. Yes, there are a couple of vendors today. I know I have also launched the multi-gigabit switch, which can have I would say capabilities in terms of 1 gig, 2.5 gig, 5 gig, and also 10 gig. But the uniqueness of Huawei solution over here on this multi-gigabit switch is we can support PoE up to 200 meters. So if you have a AP that is say 200 meters away from the switch, you could actually deploy using a normal Cat5 cable, run that Cat5 cable for 200 meters, and then have that AP connected to this switch with getting the PoE from this switch. So again, a really unique solution over there from Huawei that we have bought to this solution. Okay. So this was about our indoor high density Wi-Fi access product that we have launched. Now this is the one which we are using it for our outdoors, something like stadiums, or even something for the smart cities, where we use this rugged 8050DN product. Okay, again very similar to its predecessor. It has got like 3 radios or 3 APs in this, three radio APs, and it's got something unique. It's got a small 60 degrees antenna. So basically, what we say is you're improving. One approach is you have multiple access points within a confined area. The other way is you have a narrow beam antenna where you could have those in a single AP. So that's the how we have designed this particular outdoor high density AP. Okay, so again in terms of the advantages, as I said, it's again it can have things like 30% reduction in the size of the antenna also. Now because these are integrated antennas, you don't have the manual maintenance task of deploying an AP and then the external antennas, because the antennas are all integrated. That's number one. And two is as I said earlier, you also have the narrow beam antenna, so which gives you a much better coverage and helps you to minimize the interferences among different APs or the radios. All right. Okay, so this is another unique product which we have seen. There is a lot of demand, especially in the India market, where today you need to have switches which can also give you some kind of an alert or an alarm. So basically we have launched this switch, the 5720SI, which gives you 2 monitoring ports. And those monitoring ports, you could actually connect it to something like a buzzer alarm, or something like a hooter, which will actually give a visual alarm if there is a issue with, say, some of the power supply, or if there is a issue with the port going down. It can actually send off a visual alarm. Okay, so this is again another unique requirement which we have seen, especially for the smart city scenarios, which has come up. That's one. And two is, again, as I said earlier, this also supports the the 200 meter distance PoE capabilities, and of course this can work without any kind of an enclosure for up to 75 degrees of centigrade, of temperatures. So it's like a hardened industrial switch. All right. So again, another solution that we have got for an office area which has got a lot of multiple obstacles. So if you see, the traditional way of deploying it was you had an AP which had got what you call multiple antennas, a single beam, and then it was really difficult to adapt to environmental changes. So what Huawei has bought is a AP with an integrated antenna, or we call it the smart antenna, which can actually automatically support user location based tracking. So as I said, the AP actually follows the user and provides it the coverage as the user roams across the area. So this is another kind of a smart antenna AP that Huawei has launched as part of the cloud campus solution. Okay. Yeah, again, in terms of the signals and the improvements is again another 3 to 5 dBi of better gain improvement with a better coverage of almost 20%. So yes, okay. So some things about the competition over here. Again, I would say the uniqueness over here of this solution is we can really do things like 50 degrees is one, but yeah, the more important is we have the IoT gateways, as I said, the Bluetooth, the piece of it, and we also have the built-in antennas, which is the smart antennas, which actually help you to, I would say, minimize your overheads or the maintenance cost, at the same time bringing a better coverage and an experience to the user. Okay, so now again, in terms of this is another solution that we are launched, that is for the outdoors, especially for the transportation and also for the stadiums, where earlier, as I said earlier, there was a requirement to load the access points and then the antennas, the external antennas, and then of course you then also had a kind of for management, you had to connect a serial cable to your laptop to troubleshoot or to configure that box. Now the new solution what we have got has got the built-in antennas and also the Bluetooth, which will eliminate the physical connection of the console cable. So another unique solution which is really well appreciated by most of our customers, for especially for these outdoor deployments of APs for such kinds of scenarios. Okay. So again, this one has also got a 3 radio APs within it, like 1 2.4 and 2.5 gigahertz radios, and it has also got a reduced antenna size, within the same form factor. Okay. So let me just go through the competition over here. Is of course this is another unique offering from Huawei, where we really don't have any kind of competition or a vendor who's offering similar kind of features that this box can have. Okay. So coming back, coming back to the Huawei Cloud Campus solution, to summarize what we have just learnt is, so this is the Huawei offering where you would have the control into the cloud, that is the basic management comes from the cloud. Now that cloud could be something like a private or a public cloud. Again, if it is a large enterprise, a large enterprise customer, he would probably host the cloud, I would say, the cloud campus piece of the solution in his own private cloud. Or if it is someone like a service provider, like a managed service provider, he would offer it as a multi-tenant solution to most of his customers. Well, as for a small SMB customer, he would see the cloud campus solution as a service which he could rent out to some of these managed service providers, that are there. Or he could just buy the products that we have for the cloud, and tomorrow as they grow, they can use the same product as part of a cloud campus solution. Okay, so this is the one key message that this what we wanted to give to the market. Again, as I said, the first phase of our cloud campus solution is all about the wireless piece, the switching piece, that is all ready, that is all GA, that you can buy now. Again, it comes with a dual mode where you could use it today as a standalone, or you could use it as a cloud-based offering once the MSPs are ready with their offering. And the two is all these solutions today are built based on an open standard based architecture. So today if you buy or if you go with a cloud based solution from Huawei, there is nothing stopping you from integrating some of your existing I would say existing network management products or tools that you have with the cloud management platform also, because we are using the RESTful interfaces, or everything is all open standard based APIs where you can allow third party system integrators or third party application vendors to integrate with our platform. So that's a key uniqueness of our strategy. And another unique thing, as I said, is we really have a single platform or a single product to meet the requirements both of a cloud managed as well as a legacy traditional architecture. We don't have two different platforms where you would need to pick and choose which one you want to today and then have that issues later of interoperability. So today that's where the difference is. Today Huawei is offering you a product today which can be both cloud managed as well as a standalone legacy architecture driven product also. Okay, so having said that, I'll come to the almost the last slide of our presentation, and then of course we will be having this followed by a demo of what the cloud campus is all about, how you actually deploy a cloud campus solution. We'll be showing you that preceding this slide, and then of course we have got our Q&A session, which is going to be followed post this, right? So having said that, we have got a cloud app platform which can be downloaded even from the Apple Store, which can do a lot of stuff like it's basically an application container that can be loaded directly onto your mobile or to your mobile phones. And one of the core aims of this platform is to speed up the application development by working with third party partners and integrating it with the industry applications. So having said that, I'll now just want to switch over and run through the Huawei cloud demo that we have got, and then we come back for the Q&A session. So before we really go into the Q&A session, I just want to remind you that I hope you'll have all answered those questions, those 5 questions which were asked, on the portal page. So there are a couple of goodies that we have kept for you for the right answers. And maybe now I think we have already gotten some of the questions that have come in. If someone else also wants to send some more questions, even right now, you can keep sending them. We will see, we will try to reply as much as we can. So over to you, Dipti.
Well, thank you so much, Renzel. This was truly, truly insightful. And the virtual bubble called cloud is a bit more clearer to my skill sets. Most of it was above my skill sets, but still I enjoyed so much. Yeah. And this was like an insightful session on the next generation network, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely,
correct?
Absolutely.
So it's time for us to take on the questions now. And it looks like we already have a few questions ready with us. And the first one we have with us is, how is Huawei Cloud Campus positioned against Cisco Meraki solutions? Please answer this one.
Oh, a tough one, huh? Directly from competition. So I'll just summarize this in maybe two lines. One is our solutions when compared to Meraki is probably similar. Okay. While, as I said, we have already got our switching, our wireless, and soon we would have our IoT security gateways, as well as couple of some key security products as part of a cloud offering. The main difference I would say with Meraki is where Meraki has got a suite of products for the Meraki cloud offering. Huawei has got a single unified product.
Okay.
So be it, as I said, a cloud offering or a legacy network, architecture, we provide a similar same product. So that's the key difference between the two.
Lovely. So the next question for you is, who are the target customers for Huawei Cloud Campus solutions?
Well, as we had it during the presentation, as I said, the first phase is going to be targeted for the SMB branches. Okay, and yes, there were the 8 scenarios or the 8 vertical industries which I spoke about in the presentation. Yes. The supermarket chains, the retails, the hotels, the primary, the secondary education. Those are going to be our key focus, where the solutions are already, I would say, ready, where they can be deployed, immediately. But having said that, there is certainly a lot of investments and a lot of R&D that is going, which will be covering a lot of other industries, as we go.
Some is already on, some is
ongoing. Yes. So I would say by the end of the year, we would actually be covering most of the industries.
Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
The next question for you is, are there any plans for Huawei CC to be hosted on Amazon or Google clouds? This is something very interesting.
So yes, again, there are plans. Right now, I would say something is there where you would soon see the Huawei Cloud Campus solutions being hosted on the Amazon Azure or the Google Cloud.
Okay.
But that's something wait and watch. You'll see soon about it.
All right. Okay. So how truly open is Huawei CC solution in terms of interoperability with third-party OEMs is my question to you.
So again, as I discussed during the presentation, the Huawei Cloud Campus solution is actually designed upon open standard-based platform. There is no proprietary lock-ins, I would put it in such a way, or you can really seamlessly integrate your existing infrastructure or your existing tools that you have with the cloud platform. So right from the management to the troubleshooting to introduction of new services, there is a tight integration.
Okay.
So that's really the beauty of the Huawei Cloud solution, is where we don't tell you that you need to have everything end to end from Huawei. Okay. You could buy the heart, the control from us and still integrate it with the third party environment that you have.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay. the fifth question that we have on the platter for you is, when will the Huawei Cloud Campus products like Wi-Fi, APs, switches, routers, security gateways, etc. be GA in India?
So again, I think I have answered this. Probably the guy probably would have logged in late when he sent this query. So as I said, today the switches, the complete suite of switches, right from the I would say the stackable 1U switches to the chassis-based enterprise core switches, are all part of the cloud strategy. The complete wireless solution, right from our indoor, outdoor access points, our IoT converged Wi-Fi access points, the controllers are all part of the cloud managed solution. Yes, what is going to come soon as I said, by mid of this year is going to be our security gateways. That is our, our unified, or I would call it the USG boxes, and couple of the AR routers. So that's going to come by mid of the year.
Oh, lovely.
Okay.
So I hope Siddharth, Mr. Ranjan, Ms. Shefali, Mr. Partho and Mr. Krishnan, all of your queries have been answered, and I think we've covered most of our questions here. If there is anything you still want to cover up before we wrap up.
Yeah, so I think to wrap it up, what I would say is stay tuned to similar webinars that Huawei is going to be having soon. This is just one of the first of the many webinars that we would be having. So the Cloud Campus was the one which we, as you said, we have launched it today, so we have had this webinar. But a lot of new and exciting technologies and solutions are going to be coming. So stay tuned, and we'll slowly see you soon.
Wow, that's lovely. I think it's great. I guess we are good to go for now. And thank you everyone for joining us here for this Huawei webinar. And it was an absolute pleasure to be with all of you here today. Thank you once again for taking the time out and being with us. And I hope this next generation network is exciting enough to have you all the next time as well. Thank you very much. Thank you, Renzel, once again for being with us here as our speaker today.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.